Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Good evening, folks. Thanks so much for joining me this Thursday night. And tonight's going to be a little bit unusual. We have my guest who is actually in Southlake, Texas. His name is Jeff Roach, and he owns and runs a company that is actually called Brook Transportation Training Solutions, LLC. And Jeff, how are you tonight? Can you hear me?
I'm doing. I can hear you great. Can you hear me, Faith?
Yes, I can. Hey, there he is. Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
So this is kind of a different mode. We're doing a remote, so hopefully we'll be able to do more of these and bring on more entrepreneurs from across the country, which is, for me, very exciting. Jeff, we got to talk before the show, and I'm so happy and excited to hear your story because I know that the entrepreneurs in the audience and those people who would like to be need to hear your story. And one of the things that we spoke about was when you were in high school, one of the counselors told you that you wouldn't be able to go to college. And then another counselor came and found you as you were working in a job, and her name was Pat White. And Pat White actually spoke into your life and told you that you were way smarter and that you should go and get a degree and do something amazing with your life. You want to talk to us about that a little bit, please?
I will. So this picture that I had of myself was based on the education that I was in. The school district, from the time that I can remember, had me in all the remedial classes. And by the time I was a senior, I didn't have enough credits to graduate. I never had a chemistry class, an algebra class. Everything I had was remedial. And the counselor came to me, the one that I had, and said, Jeff, you're not going to graduate. You need to quit school and you need to go to get a job and do something else because you're not college material and you're not going to graduate from high school. So the picture that I had of myself was of someone that's not ever going to do anything. It's going to be in a remedial lifestyle that's not going to grow and expand. And this friend, this family, it was the White family. The mom was a counselor at another school, and she said, Jeff, she said, no, that's not how we're going to do this. You're going to go and you're going to get your GED, and then we're going to get you in some junior college classes, and you're going to keep. And when you finish your class, you're going to call me and you're going to tell me how you did on your class. So what I was telling you earlier is that she helped me change the picture that I had of myself.
That internal perspective.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. So when I talk to my students today, I always tell them, I said, it really doesn't matter where you start in life. It matters in making peace with your past, forgiving those people in your past, and honoring those people that planted the seeds of encouragement that would help you in your future. And Miss White, to this day, is still one of my favorite people on earth. She's literally affected thousands of students and thousands of generations of people, not because of who they were, but because of who she was.
Right. Pat White, if you're listening to this, we love you. We thank you. If it weren't for you and your encouragement, Jeff Roach would not be sitting here with me on an entrepreneur show discussing his very successful business. And Jeff, can you give us a rundown about that? Freight training, you're passionate for training disabled veterans to work from home, to become freight broker agents. This is really exciting. This is something that I have a heart for. I love the veterans. And so often they get shoved to the side and not paid attention to. And I want to hear your take on this with your business.
Well, we've been approved by the federal government to train veterans with disabilities. So work from home, being freight broker agents. So the government sends them to us. We work with them for about 80 hours. Then we introduce them to brokers that are looking for agents to work for them. And then the brokers take them from there and mentor and teach them and help them. So these are folks that are looking for an opportunity to own their own business, who want to go to work, but maybe they don't have the right avenue. Mm-hmm. So we have the right vehicle to get them into this industry. And we're the only school in the country that is approved to train disabled veterans. We're very proud of it, very passionate about it. I get to personally meet a lot of these folks, and some of them have some of the same stories that I have, as far as having to deal with your past and having to come to terms with, I'm going to forgive everybody in the past. I'm going to ask for forgiveness from everybody I need to. I'm going to receive that grace. I'm going to move forward. We're going to help them with the process, teach them how to make a living in this business. And then we're going to introduce them to brokers that are going to continue that process. I'm very proud, very passionate about that.
And I love that. I love that. That was one of the things that we first spoke about when I, met you on the phone, was that this was, where your heart is. And I don't think people really understand until you start giving like that. That's the juice of life. When you're giving to other people, it's what makes you feel great. We don't give to get, we give because it's a beautiful thing to do, and it fills you up. It fills your heart with love. I know it sounds a little weird as an entrepreneur, but it's true. And I think that one of the most important things is that it's a home-based business. So, as you said, if they have disabilities and this is their venue, then you're able to train them. You guys walk alongside them and really help them to get started and become successful. And then you said that there were 3 groups of different types of people. And if you want to go over those, pretty please.
Sure.
That's like the truck owners who want to go direct to the shipper, and et cetera.
Sure. So basically, in our industry, you have the owner-operators, the trucking companies. Mm-hmm. And these owner-operators make up of about 95% of the trucks, the big 18-wheelers that you see going down the road. They do not have sales representation in every geographical area, so they use freight broker agents or freight brokers to get their loads. Well, these carriers, they come to us because they want to learn how to go directly to the shipper. They want to learn the business side of the trucking industry. They want to learn how to find their own freight. They want to learn how to do their own billing. They want to learn how to manage their own claims. The second group would be a group of people that want to learn how to work from home being a freight broker agent. It's similar to being a real estate agent or an insurance agent.
Okay.
Except you don't need a license. You don't have to take a test. What you need somebody that's going to give you an opportunity to get in the business. It's going to give you the right process, and it's going to introduce you to the leading vendors in the industry and to brokers who are looking for agents. And that's what we do.
Yeah. You guys provide that in the gap and the training, the mentoring, yes. The training, and standing in the gap so that these folks have some connections or they can obtain the connections. That's the most important thing.
That's right. And then the third group would be trucking companies or individuals that actually want to open up a full-blown brokerage. And in that case, they're still going to have to spend some additional money on the license and a bond and things like that. But the majority of our people want to learn how to be freight broker agents. Okay.
And you'd say that was like 80%, something like that? I think you threw out a percentage of them.
Yes.
That's pretty high. That's a pretty high percentage. Mm-hmm. You guys train about 300 people a year. And your website is www.brooketraining.com. That's Brooke with an E, BROOKE, training.com. So you go to the website, pull it up, www.brooketraining.com. And that name comes from his daughter. His daughter actually is the marketing manager for his company. And his wife, Janet, who I've got to meet over the phone, is the school director. She basically takes care of everything, the online training, the vet program, everything in a nutshell. It's a big job. They both have large jobs, but it's right. Great because Jeff is so happy that he gets to work with his family, which I think is just a tremendous bonus.
Yeah, you asked me, Faith, what to talk about 3 successes, and I was telling. I've talked to a lot of people about success and what it means to them. A lot of mentors. I even texted Miss White today and asked her. I talked to my 78-year-old spiritual mentor today about it. The reality, success is all the things that money can't buy. Yeah. And for me, it's working with my family. It's watching my 3 daughters grow up with grace and humility and compassion and kindness. Those are the things that I identify success with. And I love working with my family. My family loves our students, our instructors. We all love our students. It's a very personal type of training. We have 7 to 10 people per class. So we'll get them for 40 to 80 hours at our live locations. So we get to know them on a very personal level.
Oh, that also helps being able to speak into their lives. So when you're mentoring them, you're not just mentoring them on that level of, here's a class, these are the courses, these are the action things that you need to complete, but you're also mentoring to those maybe gaps, like some of the gaps you had. Somebody stood in that for you, Pat White.
That's right.
And you're able to do that for these other folks. It's the pay it forward. It's like you're giving them something that they might not otherwise have the opportunity to do if they weren't getting into this business. It's such a blessing. It's a blessing all around. It just keeps going outward in those rings. Like I say, you drop a pebble in a pond and the rings go outward to have effect throughout the pond. It's the same thing when you do that with someone's life. It affects this life and that life and this life. Significance and impact. That's, as a coach, that is what I want to see happen for my clients. I want them to be excited about what they're doing or what their next great step is. And I listen carefully to hear, okay, where are the gaps? Where is their language, coming from, that there's something in themselves that they're not clear on, or they don't believe in themselves. And then you stand in that gap and you don't take no for an answer. You push them forward.
That's right.
Oh, and also your Facebook page is Brook Transportation Training Solutions,
right.
LLC. So that's Brook Transportation Training Solutions, and that's the name of the company. So folks, you can go there on Facebook, and you guys are on LinkedIn too, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have
LinkedIn.
We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitter.
Instagram,
okay. And we have about 25,000 followers if you take all of our social media.
Awesome.
And we
the blog.
Communicate with them on a regular basis.
Let's. Where's the blog? I want to know how can people get to the blog?
You can go to the website.
Okay.
And you can go to the blog. You can go to the Facebook page, to the LinkedIn, and to Twitter from the website.
Perfect.
So it's all right there. Just click on the button. So, and the great thing about that too is after every class, and even when students are 2 years out, they'll send us a testimonial. Every one of those testimonials for the last 15 years are on the website or on my blog. With some of them with actual pictures of the students. So we encourage everyone, go read and see what everybody else has to say. I mean, there's a lot of people that do a lot of training, and I'm sure they do a great job. But one thing I always tell everybody, and I'm certain of it, if you want to get into this industry, and this is something you want to do with your life, there's no question about it. This is the right first step. We'll teach you the process, and after that, it's up to you. You're going to have to get to work. Right.
And we know that. You know what, as entrepreneurs, you know that if you are not going to work the program, take the action steps that you need to, then, of course, you're not going to succeed. And it's a matter of not giving up. Just think about your life. If you had given up at any point, or if I had ever given up at any point, gotten tired and threw in the towel and said, forget this, then there would be no success. And the people that succeed, and I find this time and time again with the entrepreneurs that I get a wonderful opportunity to sit down and speak with, is that they never gave up. They never quit. It wasn't an option. They just kept going forward, and whether they were winning, failing, whatever you want to call it, failing forward, I always say, I win or I learn. I win or I learn. It's on my phone. Every
I like
morning I
that.
see it. I win or I learn.
I like that. That's
And
right.
yeah, and it's the same thing that you've done throughout your life. What can you say to the people who might be considering working with you guys? What could you say to encourage them about this?
Well, first thing I want you to know is that we never sell anyone on coming to our course.
Right. You don't need to.
Well, what we do, we tell them exactly what they're going to get into. We give them realistic expectations, and then I want to talk to them to make sure they're a good fit for our training program.
Right.
If they have realistic expectations and they're willing to do the work, I want them to come see us. If they do not, if they're not financially prepared for the time that it's going to take to be successful in this business, I don't want them to come to class.
Right.
So,
commitment. They need to be committed, right?
Yeah. My word of encouragement is it's real simple. Everybody asks me, all the brokers that are recruiting from the class, they all ask me, they say, Jeff, who's going to be the superstar? Who's going to be the one that's going to end up being a $20 million agent? And without a doubt, I can tell you, and I tell every class this, it's the person who's overcome the most adversity in their life and got back up.
Yes.
I don't know who that person is, but I can tell you that's the person who's going to make it.
Yes.
That's the person that's going to be the most successful.
That's the person I put money on.
It has nothing to do with color. Has nothing to do with education status.
Never does.
Has nothing to do with looks. I mean,
Nothing.
Look at me, right? It has to do
has
with
nothing
your
to do with
ability not to quit.
Right. That's it.
So
that's the grit. That's what it is. It's having that internal fortitude. We call it, from where I come from, guts. You have to have guts to go through things and not lay down and give up. So what? I wanted to say this too, that Freight Broker Agent in Entrepreneur Magazine every year has ranked in the top 10 best home-based businesses. That's pretty phenomenal. And you know what, Jeff? I didn't know that. Until you told me that tonight when we were discussing this, I really had no idea. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a relatively closed group industry, meaning that if you're not in the industry, you probably have never heard of this industry, of this particular job before, or this career.
Right.
It's your own business. Being an agent, it's like being an insurance agent or a real estate agent, except you think about how many real estate schools and insurance agents, relatively speaking, there's not anywhere close to that many freight broker agents, even though it's a $650 billion industry.
$650 billion industry.
The transportation and logistics as a whole is a $650 billion industry. And It's only getting better, and I can honestly tell you this is the absolute best time to get into this business. Everybody's building, everybody's hiring, everybody's expecting that, regardless of your politics, everybody's expecting things to move forward. And when things move forward, people ship.
Right.
They ship food, they ship building products.
Oh, and Amazon. Amazon. Aren't you hooked up with Amazon somehow?
We are. Amazon contacted us.
I love this.
Amazon is the world's largest distribution and logistics company.
Right.
Everybody knows Amazon.
Right.
And they contacted us and they said that we would like to put you on our approved list of educators. And I said, wow, I'm completely honored. Tell me why. And they said that we've done our research. We know that you can offer through your online courses. You can also offer supply chain management. Mm-hmm. You can offer freight broker training. You can offer warehouse management. Through our relationship with Education to Go and the 2,300 colleges that we do business with, we really have the best specific educational courses for this industry. Amazon knows that. They pay their employees to come to our class.
Love that. And you said 2,300 colleges that you're associated with.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot.
Yeah, really, it's just about every major university out there.
Wow.
So
Impressive.
Education to Go is the largest distributor of online courses, and we're part of that group.
Wow. Very cool. I love it. Okay, so challenges. Give me a challenge, some challenges, something that's occurring or has occurred that kind of shook you up, woke you up.
Sure. We talked about this a little bit before we came on air.
Right.
But, I mentioned to you that I had a stroke about 7 years ago, and that I was type 2 diabetic. And for a while, half of my body didn't work, and for even a longer period, half of my face didn't work, and I still have some issues with that. Well, my health had been a major concern for me, a major challenge for me, and I really didn't. It really wasn't a public thing; it was really a private thing. And my brother-in-law came to me one day about 7 or 8 months ago and said, "Jeff, I need to talk to you about something." I said, "Okay, Earl, what do you got?" He said, "Not until you can forgive those that hurt you the most will you be able to move forward in your life and get healthy." And I said, "Earl, I appreciate that." And he's very soft-spoken, and I listened to what he said, and I started praying about it. I started saying, who do I need to forgive? And in my life, I knew exactly who I needed to forgive.
Wow.
This person had caused so much pain in my life and my family's life and in my children.
Wow. That's tough to forgive.
It literally,
yeah.
So long story short, that was a huge challenge. Walking through that, my relationship with God, my relationship with Jesus, basically has helped me to forgive, not to forget, but to forgive.
Right.
When I truly forgave, I remember telling a story to Janice. I literally dropped down on my knees, started crying like I haven't cried ever before in my life, and it felt like 1,000 pounds were lifted off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Then I lost 30 pounds.
Ooh.
Then I got off of 4 shots a day of insulin. And then I got off of all the other medication that I was taking. And now I walk about 5 miles every morning before I start my day. And my life is it's not just about being successful financially. It's not just about building the school and helping those people with their career. It's also talking to them about their health.
Yes.
Now, I don't talk to people about their spiritual health, but I can tell you that hopefully that will be modeled by my instructors, by myself, by everybody that works with our company. I think if you read our testimonials and you read the experience that our people have, our students, our clients, everybody will I think you'll be able to understand where we are with our relationship with God and how it affects our business.
Right, and they're getting that. They're. You don't have to say a word. You can preach without saying a peep. Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a preacher.
But I have to say that the challenge that you had and that what your brother came and said about forgiving is one of the most important lessons that a human being can learn. Forgive doesn't mean to forget or to participate with someone who harms you, but forgiveness is for you. Forgiving the other person doesn't mean you're doing anything to or for them, but when you forgive, it releases you from toxicity. It releases you from the bondage of thinking about it, dreaming about it, being enmeshed in it. And it creates a clean soul. It cleanses you. It cleanses you from the inside out, and then you move forward. And look at what happened with your life. You had to get to a place where you couldn't move, you couldn't do anything until you did what you were supposed to do, which is to forgive. That's powerful. There's a lot of power there, Jeff. I want our audience to hear that and to know that it's an important part of being a business owner, whether you like it or not.
Also, we have to make peace with our past. I also had to go and ask for forgiveness in areas of my life with people, certain people. that were great friends, and for whatever reason, I had done something that I shouldn't have done, and I had to go back and I had to say, you know what, I was wrong. I apologize. I would like your forgiveness. And believe me, that's very difficult too.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
that's
it is.
extremely difficult, but it's all part of the process. And, it's like, it gets us out of yesterday and gets us into today and tomorrow.
You were right.
Yesterday ended last night. Today's a new day.
Exactly.
And it gets us
staying
out
in
of
the precious present. It's staying in
right.
that precious present. And that's why it's called the present, is because it's present. It's a gift. And you can't live in the past and you can't live in the future because they're not here. If you stay focused and stay here in the present, then you are much more likely to give everything that you have and be everything that you were positioned to be. You said be a meaningful, specific, not a general. What's it? What's the quote?
Be a meaningful, specific, not a wandering generality.
A wandering generality. There you go. And whose quote is that? I can't remember whose quote that is. Is that Zig? Zig Ziglar?
That's Zig Ziglar.
Love Zig.
I love Zig. I love the family. I'm a big. All this is Zig Ziglar stuff.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to Zig Ziglar in college. Zig Ziglar's message helped me visualize walking across that stage. But absolutely, when we're talking about goals, and we teach you about goals, because in this business, you better have goals. You better be intentional about your goals.
Agreed. Yeah. Give us your website again, Jeff.
Okay,
what's your website and what's your Facebook page so that we can let folks get on there and become freight brokering agents?
It's brooktraining.com.
Got it.
Name of my daughter, brooktraining.com.
Okay.
We started the company when she was 6 months old. She's 25 now.
Love it. Love it, folks. We are live here on Facebook on The Faith Washington Show. We are also streaming live on 95.3 FM and 1470 AM, as well as the iHeartRadio app. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We will see you again next week. Thanks, folks. Jeff, thanks so much for showing up. I appreciate it. And your team, too.
Thank you, Faith.
All right. Be well. Take care. You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.